A lot of questions from opposition parties, members of the media. They want to know the Ford government's $225 million payment to the beer store to accelerate the schedule of its alcohol sales expansion plan. So $250 million goes to the beer store, and this is in exchange for allowing more retailers to begin selling alcohol sooner than the previous provincial agreement. Estimates from the Ontario Liberal Party and from journalists say that combined payout costs, rebate programs, lost LCBO revenue could end up costing taxpayers closer to $1 billion over the next year and a half. So joining us this morning on how much money is at stake, where this money is going to go, and the future of the beer store is Josh Rubin with the Toronto Star. Great to have you here in person.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So the beer store, as a reminder to people outside of this area, that it's owned by Labatt, Molson Coors, and Sleeman. So what do we know about where this money is going to go, first of all?
I read the agreement that was released last Friday, and there's really not a lot of details in the agreement about where it's going. And, I know the government has said that it's, meant to go towards keeping people employed and, keeping some of the beer stores open. But there's no earmark in the agreement for where that money's specifically going. So it's basically there. Yeah.
This is money meant to soften the blow for upping the date. There are some estimates that claim the cost associated with these changes could eventually total about $1 billion. We heard Bonnie Crombie say that, right? She said it's $1 billion booze boondoggle. To put it into context, Ontario only committed $1.4 billion to repairs to schools, for example, this year.
Yeah.
They only promised $1.2 billion over 3 years to reward municipalities for increasing housing supply. The government's $225 million figure alone is $100 million more than their 3-year commitment to nursing budget from the 2024 budget. So in short, this is a lot of money and almost as much money as things that we put towards like nursing and school repairs. Why is it risking so much, the Ford government, on alcohol?
Well, I mean, that's the big question right now. And, the reality is that whether we're looking at 225 million or, $1 billion or a little bit north of that, if they waited an extra 18 months, they wouldn't have had to pay a dime because, the old agreement, the Master Framework Agreement, which limited the number of outlets that could sell beer and wine, expires at the end of 2025. So, why is the government paying that amount of money? I'm a business reporter, not a political reporter, but I mean, I have heard the theory, even from some Tory people, that this is something that they wanted to get under their belt so they could call an early election. How much substance there is to that, I don't. I guess we'll see.
Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie says this decision shows that Ford is benefiting, what she coined insiders with policy decisions. Ford has said lobbying had no influence at all on this agreement. What can you tell us about the Premier's plans for the future of alcohol sales? This is based on the changes that he's made so far. So the business angle of all of this.
I think they want to have alcohol in as many outlets as possible. And, that's, the norm in a lot of parts of Canada. It's the norm in a lot of parts of the world. And I think they want, they want it out there as many places as possible to make it as convenient for people as possible, which, I get it. If you don't have to go all over Hell's Half Acre to buy something, it's more convenient for people. But, I think the end game is that the beer store is going to be, out of business as a retail entity. They've still got their trucks. They've still got their distribution center. So, could they play a long-term role or a medium-term role in distributing beer to restaurants or to stores?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think as a retail entity, they're going to be off. They're going to be gone sooner than people might think.
Yeah, so not at the beer store, but you can get it at your convenience store when you pick up a pair of nylons and some Tide. Okay?
Absolutely.
Hey, Josh, good to have you in studio. Thanks so much. The story's not going away. We'll talk to you again.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.